Hi, my name is Dustin Martin, and I'm an enrollment officer at Providence University College, located in Otterburn, Manitoba. I should say I also help coach the women's soccer team, and I've been indicated to be the Chief Smile Initiator, whatever that means. But I'm happy here to talk a little bit more about Prov. So I should say the full title is Providence University College and Theological Seminary. So, quite clearly, the main thing that we do is we offer a number of different university programs at the undergraduate and at the master's level.
What are the three most important traits you look for in an employee?
Depending on what department you want to apply for, there's a bunch of different things. But when you think about Providence, really it's about a small community. We're a small school, and so because of that, a lot of people get to do a number of different things. You kind of get to wear a lot of different hats. So I guess versatility would be one of the main things. We're also looking for somebody who is just genuinely cares about the place and cares about the people that you work with. And additionally to that too, we are a faith-based university. So part of every staff member, the application process, once you're offered a job, is filling out something called a covenant of community faith, saying that that your faith is in the same place as the institution. Now, when you're talking about applying to the university, three of the most important things that we'll be looking for is, first of all, that you meet all the entrance requirements. So at the undergraduate level, that's fulfilling a number of different high school courses, as well as being able to provide references. But when you're talking about master's level courses, depending on what you're wanting to get into, there's other more advanced courses like Greek and Hebrew, and filling out something called an EQI if you want to be one of the counselors there.
What is the first thing you notice or first thing you look for on an applicant's resume?
So I would say a number of different things. First of all, qualifications. Do you meet majority of the qualifications? Is your resume written well? Is it concise? And personally, I should say, this applies if you're wanting to be a staff member or if you're wanting to apply to the university. I love seeing when people write some of their hobbies or some of their special interests, because that just gives us a small sense about who they are as a person. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing when you're applying to a university or to be one of our staff members. We want to know who you are if you're going to be a part of the community.
When an applicant is applying for a job, do you appreciate a cover letter with the resume, or does the resume suffice?
Absolutely, always cover letter, absolutely. I would say that goes for any staff or any faculty position. It's different when you're applying for the university, because the application process is actually all done online through one of our online forms. So there's actually not any room there to apply a cover letter, but when you're applying for university, that's not necessary.
What are common mistakes applicants have made during an interview?
I would say first and foremost, absolutely don't be late. Be early. I'm not talking an hour early, but definitely plan to be at least 10 minutes early. I would say another thing too that some mistakes that they might make is not coming prepared. If you're applying to a specific organization like Providence, it shows that you actually care and you're specifically interested in that position you're applying for. If you know a little bit about the place, what the sports teams' names are, what the history is, kind of some of the main things that they do. So definitely, I would say not coming prepared. That could be another big common mistake. And lastly, I would say this might sound like common sense, but make sure that you have a couple questions prepared as well at the end of the interview. And don't be afraid for them to be kind of hard questions for the interviewee to answer. Again, it just shows that you really are invested and you care.
Do you prefer a long, experienced, detailed resume on a few pages, or an easy, one-page, right-to-the-point resume?
Now, I can't speak to what every department head will prefer, but I think the general consensus is something just a little bit more concise that details the relevant information to the job itself. Now, it's a little bit different again if you're applying to the university or especially to the master's level, because we try to collect a lot of information. So there again, you don't really have much of a choice but to provide a lot of detailed information. And again, the main reason that is we're a small community, so we want to get to know everybody individually. And part of that is getting to know what your career aspirations are, what your hopes, what your future plans are. And so that really helps us to be able to help you pick the right program and go through the university or the seminary successfully.
References on a resume. Important or not important?
Yes, I say that it's important. There's a little bit more of a emphasis on references upon request, but I would say it doesn't hurt to just include them as well. Now, when you're applying to the university or college, that's actually an integral part of the application process. At the university, you need to provide a reference who we will contact directly. And at the seminary level, you have to provide a couple of different references. You could think of it like a professional reference as well as like a spiritual reference, somebody from the church or an organization that can speak to your faith that way.
What advice would you give to someone wanting to apply for a position with your company to help them get the position?
Well, apart from, like I say, just come prepared, I would also say come prepared and be like specifically interested in the job that you're applying for. I always say don't be afraid to also just continually follow up. Now, there's a point where you can get a little bit annoying, but definitely never hurts to give a quick phone call. A quick, short, courteous phone call never really hurt as well. If you're applying to the university college, like I say, the main thing that we see people stumble up on in the application process is just not making sure that they don't have all the application documents collected. So there's a couple big ones that I'm going to talk about. I already talked about references. Make sure that you've talked to somebody who will be a reference for you. Another one will be your statement of marks. If you've already been to a university, we need transcripts from that university. Or if you're graduating high school, we need your transcripts from high school. And sometimes we find people kind of just stumble up on that in knowing how to actually get those documents to us. We try to make it very easy in that you can upload everything online. But I would say, hopefully that covers that base.
Do you prefer emailed resumes or dropped off resumes?
So nowadays, pretty much everything is just online. So if you're looking for a job at Providence, you can find that right on our website. And actually, so with that, then you can also upload your resume or your CV. So nowadays, everything is online. Back in my day, it was all about in person, but times have changed, I guess.
Do you use an applicant tracking system to filter your candidates?
Again, we're a small university, so actually everything HR is handled in-house. When it comes to applying for staff members, to be a staff member or a faculty member, and when you're applying to the university college as well, each application is individually handled by somebody like myself, exactly. So we're reading through the application, we're following up with personalized emails and phone calls, so things aren't really filtered that way.
Where and how do you advertise your job postings?
Everything is done online through our website, prov.ca. That's P-R-O-V as in victory.ca. And when you're applying if you want to apply to the university or to the seminary, again, everything is just done through our website. Right on the main page, there's the big blue button that says apply, and that'll take you through the entire application process.
Would you encourage someone who does not have all the qualifications to apply regardless?
I would absolutely enthusiastically say yes, absolutely. If you don't meet all the qualifications, don't discount yourself, because at the end of the day, like we say, departments and managers are there and are qualified to help develop the skills that you need for the job in you, or if you have the skills, to develop them to be even better. So definitely apply, because at the end of the day, being a small community, like I say, we're looking for the right people, and so that's people are what's most important to us. Now, when we're talking the university and the seminary, it gets a little bit trickier. So in the case of the university, let's say that you don't have all of the high school requirements to enter into an undergraduate program, say for example at the Buller School of Business. We have an additional understanding, and again, because we treat every applicant so individually, we have a program called Recognition of Prior Learning. So let's say you don't quite have all of the requirements, but you're at a more mature stage in life, and you have work experience and things like that, you can work with one of your enrollment officers to still get entrance into the program. Again, if we see that you're a good fit. We just may have a couple extra courses to get you caught up to the rest that we will ask you to take. Now, at the master's level, like I say, that we have that recognition of prior learning, which is really applicable for some people who, again, maybe are at a later stage in life. Maybe they've already had a couple of careers, but they really feel a strong calling to get in there. You'd be working to basically create a exhaustive portfolio to show that you have similar life experience to meet the requirements. For example, getting into a Master's of Divinity program or the counseling program. It's a long-winded way of saying, yes, apply, start the conversation, and you might be surprised.
Does an applicant's residential location on a resume factor into your decision in the hiring process?
No, absolutely not. So now in some cases, because we are a university, if let's say, for example, we're hiring somebody to be a coach or to be a professor, we're obviously going to need them on campus in person to build those relationships with our students. So if you lived in, I don't know, the Yukon or in Hawaii and really wanted to make that move out to Manitoba, then that would be, like I said, that wouldn't be, I couldn't see that necessarily being a barrier. Again, if we're talking at the university or the seminary level as well, at the university, you're going to need to be taking a lot of classes in person, so as long as you're willing to commute, you're kind of in the area, then that's fine. And at the seminary, we all have more flexible options. So we have options for students to study in person in a regular class. We have options for students to do what's called a module. So that's an entire course condensed down to 1 week. So typically, students would move onto campus for a week, 8-hour days in the classroom, and then get credit by the end of it. Or we have more and more distance and online options too. So again, I would basically say no, a residential location doesn't really factor. Yeah, so my name's Dustin Martin for Providence University College and Theological Seminary. If you have any questions, you can always visit us at online, prov.ca, and there should be an info request form right on the main page. Thanks.